Hey, welcome guys. It's the Market Sniper. Yes, coming at you. Big stuff happening. Friday today. Oh my goodness, I've got so much to share with you. So much to tell. It's a live stream. Yes, it's a live stream with us. Thank you for being on. So first of all, key things that have been going on. Friday. Big day. And what's happening? What's truly happening? Look at the title we put. The Fed. The financial news media. What's really going on? Are they telling you the truth about the state of the economy? Or are you actually in a situation where things are unraveling and unfurling? We have a key interview coming up in a couple of hours that we will release. We're doing an advanced fast edit with Danielle DiMartino Booth. That's right. With breaking facts that are going to absolutely pop and tell you where we truly are in what makes me feel ever more and more that you are in a financial media and Fed-based Psyop. That's right. They are telling you never before the red hot labor market. We are going to be pointing to you that there are multiple of stats that are indicating that in fact things are terrible for the average man in the street. Further to which we are going to go later when we move to the charts. I'm going to show you that in fact the recent inflation you've probably been facing in America, which is a big driver of the world, is closer to peak 17.5%, at least 14% now, with all this coming downy. That's right, that's not a guess. The true inflation rate, much higher. You are in the phrase we determined for you and put out there, HyperStagflation. That means double digits levels of true inflation, not the great lie that you are being told, on top of the fact that you have absolute demand destruction. This is the game. This is the game that you strip the wealth from the masses. You crash markets, you will bring on a demand destroying event. The Fed, having been late and denying the inflationary forces that was there for everyone to see with the transitory, have gone overboard now by being late, have tightened extremely fast on a rate curve that has gone vertical, probably the fastest tightening cycle in many decades. And on top of that, are determined to win the battle against inflation. Do they know what the true inflation rate is? That in actual fact, the true inflation rate could indeed be at levels at or even beyond the Volcker era, the 79 to 82 year period where you actually had interest rates deep in the double teens, while today we are making such a big fuss about the levels of rates that we have now. Should they not be almost 8, 9, 10% higher? Do you think it's even possible? No, sir. Not with the amount of debt, not with the amount of leverage. Here are the factors that make the comparable with the Volcker era absolutely different to today. Levels of debt, more extreme. Levels of globalization and synchronized state of other economies. We're all lepers in a huge leper colony on this planet. Synchronized state, far higher indebtedness and similar state of economic decay and decline virtually, globally, particularly in the Western world. That didn't exist during the Volcker years, where they actually had a much lower debt rate. Demographics that are aging. The boomers peaked retirement last year, November. You now got much smaller half of the normal curve going through to retirement. They're all sitting and going, welfare, Medicaid, please. And they are the big suckers now. They've stopped paying taxes. They're going to be net detractors out of the system. They're sitting on housing equity. Housing market has crashed. 6 months in a row down. You'll see Danielle DiMartino Booth in our forthcoming on this very channel. Will be a couple of hours once the editing team have finished with that, and we're going to be knocking that one straight out. Do not miss that, by the way. While I'm just mentioning things not to miss, did you know we're also on Substack? That's right, under the Market Sniper. I will show you that quickly. Let's go to the screen so that you can follow us there. And we are on Spotify as well. Just search the Market Sniper. So there's the Substack. There's no premium for now. It's entirely free. Our newsletter goes in there. And on Spotify, if you go and you search The Market Sniper, you will find the audio versions. While you're driving, you can listen to us, all our great interviews as well on Spotify. So now that we've said that, let's show you the charts and that inflation number I was talking about. Surely that's wrong, you say. Well, where's it coming from and why should you take it seriously? Let's go to that chart. Here we go. You should be seeing this now. This is Shadow Stats. John Williams, much thank for all your good work. This man has taken the 1980s Ronald Reagan era inflation stats, put that little basket of goods, and he continues to calculate inflation based on, that's right, government numbers. This is not our number, a fake number, or we're trying to make them look bad number. This is their old number. This is their number from 1980, 82 era, and he shows where it would be on their own number today if they didn't keep muddling up the basket and switching things out that they don't want in there. By the way, you'll see Danielle DiMartino Booth being in one of the more controversial states in this interview that is coming in a couple of hours, questioning some of those basket shuffling, especially when they wanted energy out. It was being a bit of a nuisance. Isn't that interesting? So there's plenty of skepticism for where the Fed finds itself now, and are they being honest about the true state of the global economy, particularly in terms of the labor statistics. Don't forget, recently we had a non-farm payroll number, I tell you, 500,000. Look at that little pointy fingers shooting at you. You've never had it so good. 513,000 new jobs. We've said before, the non-farm payroll with the birth death model and everything else is shenanigans. You get lies, damn lies, and statistics, and that is one of the biggest lies in our opinion. And in fact, other polls and surveys have shown that in fact the employment situation is far more dire than it is being expressed by yours truly. But they cling to the labor market, a very narrow defense for their ongoing tightening in what is a decaying economy. That is it. Here we see the charts on the shadow stats. Let's talk about it. London, Munich. Let's talk about it. Pop music. Paris, Munich, is it? I missed one out there. Anyway, let's forget about the pop songs. There's 20%. Start again. 20% and 15%. These are the early 80s, by the way. That's 83 over here. Let's make it a bit bigger, shall we? Let's make it even bigger. Let's get out of pen mode. Even bigger. Let's show the masses, Francis. Do not hide. Do not hide. Let's make that the big boy. There you go. Might look a little bit fuzzy. It's not meant to be super pixelated. This comes from John Williams Shadow Stats. I subscribe to his newsletter. You should too. It's closer to the truth on statistics in terms of where you really are in the inflation realm. And thank you to him for his work. So 1983, there you go over there. You were at around 15%. Early 80s, 81, 82. Hold on a minute. Where is that? Roughly the midpoint, I tell you, between 20 and 15%. That's right, inflation. So if we draw a straight line across here, somewhere in the middle of that range, it smells like 17.5% recently on your inflation. And housewives across the world and all those that do any form of shopping will tell you that is more in line with their experience in terms of the cost of groceries. Also to be announced by Danielle, and I'm not going to steal too much of her thunder. There's a lot to come out of this popping rivets, fact stocking. We've got everything stuffed in there. But she makes mention of cuts to the food line welfare as well. That's going to see the poorest get even less. This is a Democrat government. Be nice to the poor people, she says, they say. Well, not so much anymore. The cuts are then coming. What do you think that does for crime statistics when you take your little welfare goodie bag away from those already battling to feed their families? Oh boy, the tough times are coming. So even at the current value that we have, you're a little under 15%, I would argue. Let's say rounded down, a full 14%. Current inflation. And what are your interest rates, my friend? What are your interest rates? Still well behind in true terms. They, of course, will tell you, oh, we've got inflation down somewhere around six and some change. Well, that's the big lie, and that's why they're going to keep tightening for a lot longer. That's why things will start breaking and they will ignore them. And that is already a demand-destroying event is going to have its effects on everything in terms of risk on, risk off, liquidation. Watch out, you've already had a big sell-off on Bitcoin. Gold is trading up. Dollar down. Let's give you some other news and more that will be discussed. A small little taster of what's coming for you later today with our interview with Daniel DiMartino Booth. Other news that were referenced that you might want to take notice of. Reuters, a dispenser of great truth and wisdom. Yes, indeed. An exclusive release brought to you by the Rothschild Media. US seeks allies backing for possible China sanctions over Ukraine war. They want to do to China what they did to Russia. Isn't that a great idea? You couldn't pick enough fights as a drunken, aging boxer in a pub. You couldn't pick enough fights to ensure you get properly clobbered, could you? Russia's booming economy doing just great under the soft sanctions with everybody bypassing it. Of course, it's a national pastime for the Israelis of the world and all the dark state entities skimming a premium. This is the end of days. The thieves are emptying the cash registers, my friend. Trade is continuing. Russia is selling oil. We know of tankers that are making more on daily rates, that are running the slightly riskier routes. There are all forms of ways and skullduggery that the sanctions are being circumvented. It is to pass costs on to you and for the people involved to make more supernormal profits in a final stripping of the furniture in the great palace that is to be wrought to ruin. That is what is happening right now, and you're the one paying for it. You're paying for it in your tax revenues, your hikes in tax, you're paying for it in intermediary charges on sanctioned goods by your government states, ever escalating it higher, bringing a greater inflation to you, while the intermediaries themselves are knocking themselves out in cash abundance. Danielle will also refer to the multitude of billionaire classes flying kids in business class in the planes, etc., with handouts of quantitative easing to small businesses and how that is declining. So watch out. The United States is sounding out close allies about the possibility of imposing new sanctions on China if Beijing provides military support to Russia. Well, I can guarantee what they will find, whether it happens or not. Military support to Russia. Oh dear. Let's have a look at The Economist, another great dispenser of truth owned by the same cartel as Reuters. Chinese arms could revive Russia's failing war. Isn't it funny, just as Ukraine is absolutely falling apart and demanding American sons to die on their battlefields. Funny, he doesn't ask for Israeli. I mean, Israel voted recently, didn't he, in favor of sanctioning Russia. Are they sending their sons to die on the battlefield as Zelensky was demanding of Europe and America? Isn't it always funny that? It's funny how they don't get called in. Well, the Chinese are going to be dragged into this, whether they are or whether they aren't. I would guess they are probably. It's good for business and sales. And so what? Isn't America and Europe doing that for Ukraine? They've chosen their sides. They all have. It's now about an escalation. What do you think that does for inflation, my friends? Your inflation number that won't go away, apart from the fact that it's lies, and damn lies, and then statistics. Yep, that's what you've got right here, my friends. You have a cartel. You have an absolute cartel cranking up the citizen wealth destruction. Let me say that again. A demand-destroying event is coming that will further see the citizen wealth destruction, whilst the intermediaries of the war machine are profiting on black market oil, arms industry, and every filthy goddamn business where all the psychopaths realm. This is a psychopath's ball of lucre, filthy lucre and great wealth, whilst the peasants have never had it so poor. This is what's going down. We've got to put a black humor for you on Friday. Isn't it lovely? Never mind, we can all stir up our kundalini snake from our sacrum area and let all that sexual energy ascend into our brains and explode into a spiritual transcending force that is unaffected by any of this bullshit. How about that? Anyway, let's have a look at your comments. What have we got going for you? End of days, I'm expecting Mother Nature to level this world. Oh, you might find a bit of engineered Mother Nature. You might find it may not be so natural and organic in its nature as an interesting point of comment. Let them have the 7 plagues. We're here to dish out. We've already had 2, the disease and the cure, as far as I'm concerned. Say not that word. Say not that word. I'm listening carefully. What else do we have for you, my lovely friends? We have the interview in 2 hours' time. Do not miss it. Watch it. It will be released on this channel. If you are looking forward and glad that we are giving you breaking news, responding with Daniel DiMartino Booth, real facts. She's going to have a factual release, quite a few of them that I haven't mentioned here, that will shock you as to the true state. You are in a financial media psyop brought to you by the Federal Reserve and the banking cartel, that are telling you the labor employment market has never been so strong. It's actually hunky-dory. The only thing is inflation, so that they can increase rates, bring a demand-destroying event on your head, mask it with a war that they're busy escalating simultaneously, so you'll be so confused by all the things blowing up around you, you will not realize the biggest robbery is going down right now on the fiat-based system, the lending-based system, and everything around it, and it is designed to strip you of every last cent you own. Watch out for interest rates. It is a controlled demolition tool on your own personal finances. We have warned of this and many other things before. You hit the subscribe, hit the notify button, you book a call to join us, and stay alert for that interview that'll be coming out in 2 hours' time. Until you see us then, I wave you goodbye. We have a great weekend of amazing content coming out as a result of both this event and other interviews that we've had. Thank you for being a follower. Keep your mood up and strong. You can manifest from within in this world of turmoil. Take great pride. You can control all that is around you, that is local, and that is within yourself as a positive message. You cannot affect these larger things for now. Watch dispassionately and observe, and raise yourself up. Let the serpent arise. These are the times. The serpent is arising in many, many ways. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Goodbye.